Let's see. A, be careful. They're most likely in the harassing if you're calling them out, aka holding them accountable and calling them out for repeating the same misinformation that you and other adults in your cult have indoctrinating them into repeating. But again, I know the word quote unquote calling out is really convenient for you. You're the same 19-year-old who got held accountable for harassing a 13-year-old and also for trying to manipulate and guilt trip them. So of course you, as someone who's already part of my document, will think that someone quote unquote siding with you would be your safety. Unfortunately, it's just proof of you grooming a minor into your side. I never told them to be on anybody's side. I told them, if you get sent anon hate mail or you get sent anon drama about me, because obviously I am popular, so people will yap and try to involve them, whether on one side or another. They were told to block people. They did not do this because this allowed them to get a following. More. I wouldn't be surprised, but it's okay. The block button and I have become pretty good friends at this point. I used to know someone who kind of reminds me of. Sure, you can project whatever fantasies you have with the relationship you got going on with your friend and pretend that that has anything to do with me. But, of course, autistic brains and patterns. Again, I fully expect either nothing at all to happen or expect some sort of bullying. Being held accountable is not bullying. You're just being corrected because you don't get to yap about someone's situation as per misinformation just because it's comfortable to you. You don't. You just don't get to do that. You don't have that privilege. And I'm not going to give it to you. I mean, who are you to argue with a primary source? You're literally a fuck-ass minor on the internet who didn't even experience anything of what was going on. So you're unbelievably out of your depth. You have a lot of quote-unquote supporters, all of them morally bankrupt or sexual predators, and it's really quantity over quality for you. Yeah, that's what goes on in your minds. It's not though. Let's see. Bullying, harassment, the harassment campaigns you'll try to orchestrate. False accusation, like you being called out for the false accusations, or repeating other people's false accusations, etc. Again, fandom LARP. Surprised to see myself being name dropped since I don't talk about them and I'm not as involved as others. Well, you involve yourself on your blog before. But I'm glad you're keeping yourself safe and protecting your peace. Actually, can concern about interacting with them. I saw your pin post and when they tried me telling me to block delete asked about the started blocking and us, about the because I didn't want to support someone like that. Yeah, so you did the opposite of what you were told because you're a cloud chaser. At least someone has seen my pin for once. It was actually good to check someone's I'm actually going to check out someone's account. I love the theme of your account. Thank you so much. Oh, moral inversion. See, when terrible people bond over these things, it's always the same pattern, actually. It reminds me of someone. Weird. Literally never in my life have I told them anything for it defined as a deer, and I have never told to that person before. Anyway, they tried to follow me a couple times and pro-ship as a bank's alphabet soup at that thing. They discussed me. Oh, keyboard warrior. You're a 30-year-old. Why are you calling anyone a thing and thinking you're pro-ship? Again, you're a flake who got hold of 2 or 3 things from here saying drama you were in paddles, and so you already got to say shit. That's how it is with most people. Like, when at last I went to their blog, they made some fuckers pull out there when the show's pretty long as did we learn not to mess with Choco and Miermo? Did we learn not to sexually harass Choco and Miermo? Again, I understand you're hypocrites and also you have to lie constantly because honesty would mean that everything you present would crumble. But that doesn't mean that people are going to take you seriously, especially not people who have seen the evidence. What are these two names? And the answers were yes and no. We need another list. It's socially seeking, abusive, manipulating. Number one, I put a post whatever I want on my blog, and that is not up to your discussion and not up to debate. If you don't like it, then the choice is blocking and moving on. Also, not only do I not need to justify myself to the likes of you or anybody else, because again, it's my blog, and the fact someone like you even perceives it is already repulsive enough, because what have you done? What makes you meritorious of my respect, my attention, or anything about my person? Do you hear yourself? No, of course you don't. Abusive and manipulated. Now, in the context of that, for people who genuinely have no idea what was going on, this was like when I was getting sexually harassed when people were targeting the recorded imagery in my direction. The straws were sent as an epileptic person myself to people who had taken part into the Mirmo situation and who had targeted religious imagery at someone who was raped as a baby by religion or Christianity per se, which is what they said: abusive, manipulative, and absolutely sickening. But they want to omit that because, again, that will not serve the narrative. They're also said that they don't care people is zero stroke from their show shit. Prove it. Again, not a hearsay. Hearsay doesn't need to be proven. If someone gives hearsay, it doesn't need to be disproven. It is quite a ridiculous razor. Hitler's razor exists for a reason. I don't care how pushy you are, they're a disgusting person. I don't care what you care about. I don't care what you think. I don't care what a disgusting vermin like you thinks is or isn't a disgusting person. Again, actions are louder than words. So I have a pause explaining why doing shit like that is literally illegal, carries how the law works in relation to business, and something starting to custody as a crime. You have? Let's check. Cool. So the section about the straws, actually, yes, that's true. Except there will need to be a person that is epileptic for this to be convicted. Again, nobody who was epileptic was sent straws. So therefore, this has absolutely no weight on the argument they were making. People don't know the law. Again, and the only place that, how is it fucking called? Strokes. The only place that strokes is actually criminal and is actually prosecuted by themselves is the UK under Zach's law. Also, telling someone to kill themselves is illegal. Congratulations. How many of you do I send to jail then? How many of you have told me to kill myself, get raped over 185 videos of evidence that I have made, along with the 3 documents? One thing is something that is illegal, another different is something that can be prosecuted. So again, citing arbitrary crimes, it's not going to do anything, especially if you lie about the crimes while committing crimes yourself. So as expected, useless slop. Yes, absolutely disgusting. So glad I was quick to find out Choco is such a vile creature. I will take creature as a compliment, because being a person will mean sharing oxygen with the likes of you, which I don't fancy. I would rather keep the oxygen to myself. I don't blame you for not realizing sooner, though. It took me a couple of weeks to realize. As soon as I did, pretty much erase everything from the blog that I touched like you did. Oh, so a follower or someone who had seen my blog, a lurker or a random person that had absolutely no importance, decided Choco is mean, let's appropriate the situation and make it about our feelings. I mean, it's not like Choco, who actually experienced this, is going to feel a billion times stronger about it than us, since it's literally their situation. And what took minutes for us took months for Choco, almost a year actually. No, they see, in order for them to understand this, they will need something called self-awareness, and they don't have it. They don't have that self-awareness. But this crisis with Choco's on my pussy, even deny it. Why would I deny it? I was the one who presented the evidence. Why would I let you move the goalpost that way? You are the one who has to prove what you're saying, not me. Again, using your line, I didn't accuse you of lying. You lied and I corrected you. There's a difference. Bitch, I'm not looking at you saying that, bitch. I don't care what you look at or don't look at. If you lie on my situation, you're spreading misinformation and you get held accountable, irrespective of your feelings or your excuses or how many NPCs you got LARPing behind you. Do you understand that you're one of the countless people who have tried the same exact thing you did with no results? I mean, other than just pissing me off. Again, call me a liar for no good reason. Lying is a pretty good reason to call you a liar. And you're not denying anything. Again, moving the goalpost and the documents are mine. And no, I'm not doing that Choco isn't saying, oh, slurs, and needs professional help. Sure, you can just delegitimize someone's mental health because they rightfully hold you accountable. I'm sure the ableism is really bringing forward that truth. I don't know, they told me a couple weeks ago and I have already about that bullshit. Their point, it was a whole ass jump scare. The bullshit at hand is their brains being literally incapable of processing anything they read, so they would just make whatever narrative makes them feel better, and they already feel that they have the potential to judge anything. When in reality, like I already said, I am the only one who gets to judge anything here, because it's my situation. And if I provide evidence, my evidence is the one that sticks, not your hearsay deflections. Foxy was unaware their users had some years, so I shared stuff about them. Sure, I remember. They found me. I was like, oh, cool, a person follower. That's disgusting. Apparently, they accused me of lying on their name. I didn't accuse you. I affirmed that you lied. In the end, where I did share a couple of things I found they apparently did. Keyword apparently. There's a couple of tags about it. I told you can check Proship-choco's account about it. The target check for sellers if a more survivor, and there was definitely more. I'm actually free to look into it more. I can help be curious of how that person is. The whole actions have shown me the Choco somebody I want to interact with. So, in case people didn't know, my other blog got deleted rather recently. Infinite-proship-choco. That had an empowering amount of evidence. I don't know if it is in the documents, but when you search up Choco situation, the most popular posts were the ones that I made. Since that account was deleted, the people I held accountable took that chance to start spreading the misinformation because they could already do it without consequences, or so they thought. Why is it that every time I said someone's a cult, so as part of a cult, they always do the same exact things that confirm it? Why do you have to make it so easy? He sent a flashing lights to people. Predators told them to get traffic into people who had told me to get raped first. And wish authorized to arrest a black man for pushing a doing that triggered them. Incredible. That's an unbelievably disingenuous framing of what actually happened. So I, as a POC, had threatened somebody who had their own rape-coded image towards me, knowing I have religious trauma around Christianity. I'm knowing I have an interject connected to that sexual trauma. The person drew it as a Christian, knowing it was my avatar, and I was the only person that had that user as an icon. So basically, I tried to reenact myself getting raped, knowing I would process it that way. So again, incredibly disingenuous framing, but also one silly star is a person who tried to convert others into Christianity. So what else is new? 可能是不是都在没兴趣学会的是要这个不是有人可以给啊可以给要是谁谁不是还可以解决是有这样就 Again, same exact misinformation, same cheap slop, same immortal inversions, and it's, again, as always, never going to stick. Every time you'll say things like this, all it does is increase the evidence against you. Again, the evidence is quite clear. Great candy quite literally fed his mind in for a 13-year-old. As a white person trying to tell Holocaust survivor that they were wrong about their experiences, trying to argue with them, and then all of this. Basically, what all of this always is bad people bringing together so that people ganging up together and bonding over getting exposed and getting called out. It's literally what it is. Every single time. They also try to, again, call me physically disfigured and make ableist slurs towards me. Sexually harass me has already proven several times, trying to leak personal information about me, trying to leak my kings with adults, publicize them towards minors, target my system, as a system little knowing I have me was an avatar. All of this, and then we're gonna actually move into the thing there where the users were crashing out about. Not the strokes, because those were already addressed. I already addressed that 100 times over. This. Dove killer, by the way. So basically, Dove Killer was a good American. People were basically platforming them. As long as, again, it was someone that they liked, then it really didn't matter to them. Oh yeah, do you know I have different versions of the summer situations document? I have more than one, obviously. Why wouldn't I? Anyway, primary one. patronizing sexually harassing a minor, patronizing sexually harassing another person, which, by the way, this was covered up by Frogo and other people in summer. The premise at first had been that I had been accused by Frogo of forced sexual conversion. That was the premise where things started getting pretty wild. Also, here's evidence of people involved in the summer situation with a picture of my own, when I was regressed as a... Because, again, I'm explaining Tandem Skip. Basically, they had literally published it into the document. And also, this is a crime, by the way, and they know about this. They say, well, because it's blur, it's not a crime. No, it's literally still image-based sexual abuse. Like, that's not even the only one. I mean, all the sexual harassment, all the defamation, all the libel, all the times that they try to cherry-pick screenshots and crop them out. By the way, this person was also patronizing. Near knew, by the way, because people knew. They were in the harassment server, which other people had admitted that they spend every single day making responses. And it doesn't matter how many times they do this, the evidence is not going away. Frog and company thinking that I have called them a faggot because I said frog it, frog it, Undertale. So that's the level we're operating under. But Choco, why did you take this with Whimsy? Why wouldn't I? Why would I get upset over something that is so redundant, so immoral, and so obviously disgusting that it doesn't deserve an emotional response from me? So I'm instead just operating on brat behavior. Because they don't know what they did. Everyone involved knows what they did. And they're just relying to an audience and trying to spread it as much as possible instead. The false narrative rather than the truth. Because this isn't about how much they like or don't like a person, this is about what they did. Because let's face it, if I did what any of you have done or tried to do to me, to any of you, you would dead. You would be killing yourselves 10 times over. I mean, you cannot even handle the heat, and it's all of you together as one person. And this is all that you are capable of doing. And it's the same tactics I described too, which is really funny to me. Because I would literally say a manipulation tactic and you execute it. By the way, Caleb fucking a 6-year-old. I mean, then post. People trying to argue the Miermo situation, because why wouldn't they? I mean, you'll have never seen me trying to argue people's own victims' experiences for them until they did it with me, have I? Of course, they think they get to be predatory without consequences. They don't. And this one. So the 30-year-old that went to, or that is studying the law, look at this. It's quite simple. So next time you'll have to lie and try to project your every deficiency, all of your crowds and this, and you have to make all of this noise to try to deflect from accountability. Well, try to find a way that doesn't expose you even more, or, and this may be a novel concept to people like you, who are dedicated to exist as living, walking rage bait. For the first time in your lives, you could decide not to expend it being wastes of oxygen that only want to lie and make people upset. Because y'all would try anything except understanding that this is your fault. Everything I presented here is because y'all did this. And there's nothing you can do about this. If this went to a court of law like some of you try to bravado bark about, y'all would get jailed. You don't understand the law. You really, really don't understand the law or course of conduct or pattern behavior or mens rea or actus rea or anything. You are privileged trolls and trauma farmers wanting to chase cloud to grow your platform because you cannot exist without me. You cannot exist without the person so many of you spend months leeching from, bending towers and trying to basically make the primary source explain themselves to the likes of you, as if any one of you was owed even the most basic explanation of what you did. Bye-bye.